Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the podcast where your new SmackDown Live general manager will be Homer Simpson. It's Lost in the Midcard.
Go!
Welcome to a show of Lost in the Midcard. There's nothing really. It's like the road to Money in the Bank, but we're still a couple of weeks away from that. But we got some major news for you to talk about, which you probably already heard about as it came out on, I believe, Monday, but we will break it down for you because it is a big deal and lots to discuss on the matter. But first, thank you to SpiderDuck.net for being our host, enabling us to be on iTunes and any of your favorite podcasting apps. What you got to do is search for Lost in the Midcard, hit that subscribe button, that way you know every time a new episode comes your way. Every Thursday and most Mondays after a WWE pay-per-view. This one's coming at you a little later on Thursday because Matt and I are actually recording on Thursday instead of our usual time after NXT. So this is still coming to you on the iTunes this Thursday. So hope you enjoy it on whatever you're doing on this fine evening. You can also subscribe to us on the YouTube. The links to all that are on our Facebook page. Go to the pinned post at facebook.com/Lost in the Midcard. You can also go on our pinned tweet at LITMC Podcast on the Twitter, where we also share a lot of the great wrestling tweets throughout the wrestling world, as some of those guys are pretty fucking entertaining on social media. I am your host, Jeremy Bennett. You can find me on the Twitter at JBHuskers. As always, my co-host, he is on the Twitter at RawFShowtime. It is Mr. Matt Black. Matt, how you doing?
Better than people who want the WWE to change creatively.
Yeah, it's amazing how the product sucks, but the stock skyrockets, huh?
I knew it all along, pal.
Let's flash back to a week ago today, Thursday the 17th. WWE stock zoomed at an all-time high of $51.20 per share, the highest since the company went public in 1999. For comparison's sake, the company opened in 1999. I believe it was $24 a share, and then it went in the shitter for a while too.
Oh, dude, they were as low as $8 or $9. And honestly, when they were at that point, I did consider buying stock. And now I'm kind of sitting there like, man, I really wish I'd have bought stock when it was like $8 or $9.
Yeah, because as of today's market close on May 24th, $58.78. It is close to the highest ever. When the announcement that we're going to talk about in a minute happened, it peaked at $59.37. Yeah, if you had like $500 laying around, yeah, you'd be making quite a bit of money off of that $500. So $58.78 at the close, but holy shit, once that announcement came down that in October 2019, an agreement in principle has been made for WWE SmackDown Live to appear on Fox Broadcasting Network. 5-year deal worth over $1 billion. $1 billion, as Dr. Evil would say. About $205 million per year, 3 times what WWE was getting for the series on USA. Where it is USA Network. I almost said United States Network. Jesus, wow. USA Network is going to retain Monday Night Raw, according to the reports. And according to the reports, they're going to be paying about 3 times the amount of what they are paying right now to keep Monday Night Raw. SmackDown is reported to move to Fridays, with the money that is given that pretty much means they're going to go live on Fridays. They're not. They're not taping that shit. So obviously the live WWE live schedule will get shifted around by quite a bit. But this sent the stock skyrocketing. It hit $59 at one point. It did drop a little bit on the tail end of the close on the 21st, which was Monday when the news came out. Stock closed at $58.21, but still the stock jumped about 12.5% from Friday's business close, which is just insane. So the stock, and we're talking 3 days later now, and that stock is still holding steady at $58 a share. So major news.
And also keep in mind, I mean, this is all stock rise based on speculation.
Yeah,
I mean, the WWE has yet to come out and say, we're staying with NBC Universal for Raw, we're going to Fox or SmackDown Live. When that announcement legit comes out and these actual number figures are confirmed to be real, or hell, even higher than they've been speculated on,
it's going over 60.
Yeah, dude, it's going way over 60. It'll probably hit 70 or 80 once these numbers are officially announced. So, damn!
No wonder SmackDown Good was so good this week, huh? They wanted to.
I loved SmackDown this week.
They wanted to make it look good.
Except for the burial of Billy Kay.
They wanted to make it sexy for the old Fox execs. Of course, if you remember, I lost the Midcard. I reported this on Sportskeeda a few months ago. Fox executives and also television personalities such as Colin Cowherd and Jason Whitlock were in attendance for a SmackDown Live. That was back when we thought the entire shebang was going to go to Fox. Then the NBC upfronts happened a couple weeks ago, and we thought, oh, the whole entire shebang is coming back to USA. And then there was a media conference where we talked about this on the show last week, where old Chuck, I think it's Chuck Barrios, the CFO of WWE, stated that if it's feasible, the WWE is going to go the way of the NFL, and Raw and SmackDown will be on two different network companies. And while just a couple of days after that conference, this comes out. So hello, what timing?
And we also need to keep in mind, like, since nothing's been official yet, none of this is truly a done deal. There is an absolute chance that with Fox, like, it being confirmed this week that ESPN is taking away the UFC from Fox, and Fox has all this extra money now, you know, that they wouldn't have had if they would have kept the UFC. What if Fox makes a full run and tries to take Raw? I mean, this is still within the realm of possibility that Raw could come to Fox.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, nothing's out of the question yet until the teaser, crossing the I's are dotted. You know, I just, like, there's still a lot of things to speculate about until WWE decides to finally sit down and announce that this stuff is official. But this is all perfect for WWE right now. This is a week where WWE can basically kick up their feet and say, we don't care what the fan has to say as long as you're still spending money and watching our product. Because we're making more money now in 2018 than we ever had in our company's history. And Vince's touted slogan of, I know what you want better than you do, really pertains to not us, the fans, but he knows what the network and the networks and the executives and the stockholders want better than we do.
I got a question for you, Matt. What was the question? Tell me that question that Vince McMahon asked when he was giving away $1 million. Oh, it wasn't a question. It was a statement, wasn't it? It's all
about the money.
Oh my God. This is major.
It is major. It's huge.
Honestly,
with the lack of news that has been out in the wrestling world this week, if this wouldn't have been dropped this week, I don't even know if we would have recorded this week. Because honestly, this is a really bare bones week for wrestling news. But this Fox deal is so huge. We had to sit down and talk about this.
Yeah. Tim Fioravanti from ESPN, he brought up a bunch of different points in regards to this. want to get your take on some of this, Matt. He's wondering, is this going to be the end of the brand split? Now that the pay-per-views are co-branded, SmackDown is sure as hell is going to want all the tops, or Fox is sure going to want all those top stars on SmackDown, and USA is probably going to want all those same top stars on Raw. So is this the end of that brand split?
If it's the end of the brand split, they have a year and a half to get there. Mm-hmm. And honestly, I don't know at this point if they're going to do that.
It's going to be a lot of releases if that's the case, though.
Honestly, I'm a lot more interested in next year's Superstar Shakeup.
Yeah.
Because if the brand split stays, which I kind of think that it will, I feel the co-branded pay-per-views were done on purpose because WWE already knew this was happening.
Yeah.
WWE already knew Raw and SmackDown were going to separate networks, and they're like, you know what, it's going to be a lot easier to promote a co-branded pay-per-view on Fox in USA when it's all the same brand. You know what I mean?
Hey, if SmackDown Live is on Friday, what's on Fox on Thursday nights in the fall that can promote SmackDown Live?
Thursday Night Football.
Mm-hmm.
That's gonna be huge.
That goes to Fox this season. Starting this season, Thursday Night Football is on Fox, and of course simulcasted on NFL Network as well. I really hope that the brand split doesn't end because I want the two shows to be even more distinct, and I feel like if they are in two different production companies, not production companies, but two different networks, I think there is an even bigger chance to separate the two. Moving it to Friday sucks for me personally because I DJ on Friday, so I won't get to watch it live. But at the same time, I'm excited because that's a bigger gap between Raw and SmackDown to make it even more different. So I'm all for it. Here's the cooler part. Another cool part about this, Matt, the fact that the big pay-per-view weekends start with the go-home show at SmackDown Live. Like Royal Rumble, for example. SmackDown Live is gonna take place wherever the Royal Rumble city is gonna be. Then Saturday.
You would certainly think so.
Then I think the 4-day run is still gonna continue. It's just gonna start with the go home show at SmackDown Live, and then you got Takeover Saturday, pay-per-view Sunday, Raw Monday. I think that's how you're gonna see the big four and whatever other ones where Takeover coincides with it and all that. You're going to see the go-home show actually be in the same city as the pay-per-view, which is cool for the wrestlers because that's 3 days you get to spend in the same city. You know, I'm sure they welcome.
Yeah, I would think travel-wise that would be most welcome.
Yeah. So that was another one. Was will SmackDown expand to 3 hours? I say no. The only way they can do this is if they start before primetime kicks in at 6 o'clock Central, 7 Eastern, which I don't think they will do.
Yeah, and I don't think they will either.
Or they move the final hour to FS1, which I think would be ridiculously dumb.
Beyond stupid.
You would get
to me, that's a terrible idea.
You would get a major hour 3 drop off there. It just makes no.
Look. If you want to spend extra money and put NXT on FS1, that's one thing. Mm-hmm. But you don't start a show from 8 to 10 on Fox and be like, oh, if you want to see the last hour, turn to Fox Sports 1 now. Fuck that.
Yeah.
Like I have no interest in WWE or Fox attempting anything of the sort. Keep the show 2 hours because the whole rumor out right now is WWE's getting 3 times the amount now for SmackDown that they were getting from the initial deal from USA. But they're also saying that Raw is about to get 3 times the amount from USA that Raw initially got. So Raw is going to be pulling in roughly around $350 million a year. And that extra money per year is due to the fact that it's 3 hours, not 2.
Yeah.
So, if SmackDown went to 3 hours, in my opinion, SmackDown would be worth a lot more than $205 million a year. So I think $205 million a year for a 2-hour show just makes sense.
So that's good news then. That for those that want us to keep it at 2 hours, that's good news then because that's the price tag that they're showing out there. So 3 hours.
Live moving to Friday nights.
I still want it to move to Full Sail.
I just don't think they're going to do that, though.
No. I don't know. Here's what I say.
They can tape it before Raw and still air it Tuesday nights, but it ain't going to be live anymore. So.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know.
I mean, hell, in a year and a half, 205 Live might not exist.
True.
And I'm not even saying that to be a dick. I'm just saying that it's possible.
It's just not gaining.
I don't want them to do that, but
it's not gaining traction.
Dude, if I want to watch great wrestling, I can turn on 205 Live every Tuesday night, and I'm guaranteed to get at least one great match. Like Tozawa and Hideo on Tuesday night was fucking awesome. But I don't get the same feel overall from 205 Live that I get from like NXT or anything like that. It could get there in time, but NXT's been like, I don't know. I'm a little worried about the future of 205 Live. I can't lie.
It's not getting the traction. It's about getting to the age that NXT was when it exploded. NXT exploded basically at the birth of the WWE Network. It was the first live show that appeared on the WWE Network when Takeover, the very first Takeover, aired at Full Sail, and your opening contest was Sami Zayn and Cesaro.
I still remember that match.
Yeah, that was a hell of a feud. And, 205 Live is just not getting that buzz as a brand. And, I don't know. I like it, but I haven't been, I'll be honest, I haven't been able to watch a 205 Live in forever. Just don't have the time. And
it's not must watch.
That too.
And that's its problem. Like, if you miss a week at 205 Live, you could hop back in the following week, and it doesn't feel like you missed anything. And then that's an issue.
Yeah.
So
I honestly think it would benefit taping at Full Sail, because that's where NXT grew. People started seeing how great the product was. People started seeing the reactions of the NXT universe at Full Sail, and that enabled the WWE to then sell out 17,000-seat arenas eventually. Now, I know 205 Live ain't going to get to that point. I don't think it ever will. But
look, if you're going to do that, I'm just going to throw this out there, and I'm sure it's not something WWE has in the pipeline of plans or anything of the sort, but if I'm moving 205 Live, if I'm moving the 205 Live brand back to Full Sail, what I'm doing is this: NXT is 2 hours every Wednesday night, and it features the Cruiserweight division from 205 Live.
Okay.
They are no longer a show. They are a division on NXT. It is yet another selling point for that brand, and yet another championship for NXT.
Yep,
it would be the NXT Cruiserweight Championship.
I like that idea.
Yeah, that's what I would do. You got a large enough Cruiserweight roster, and even if you didn't want to keep them all in the Cruiserweight roster, you could move some guys into the regular NXT main roster and vice versa. And that would work. And I feel like with all those extra people you're bringing in, you'd have to make the show 2 hours. But I wouldn't mind a 2-hour NXT. So that's just my opinion.
My initial thought is NXT gets moved to FS1, and then maybe 205 Live takes over that slot if that ever happened. That's my only thought. But I like your idea a lot better. I didn't think of that. So that'd be a much better idea. Be interesting. So other questions that Tim from ESPN asked. He goes, how will WWE do a live show on Friday night? Well, they're getting $1 billion, so they're going to just change the schedules.
Exactly. I'm sure the production people aren't going to be happy about it, but it's just going to be something they're going to have to live with. And if they all get raises, I'm sure they're all going to live with it quite happily.
Yeah. Then he talked about the Big Four pay-per-view scheduling, like I mentioned. Some creative challenges in terms of WrestleMania week with the Hall of Fame typically falling on Friday, but hey, that's a simple thing.
Oh, that's a good point. I didn't even really think about that.
Yeah, that's a simple fix. You could almost have that on Thursday and still be fine.
Or do you run the Hall of Fame Saturday morning and NXT Saturday night?
Could do that. But usually the Hall of Fame comes with a party for the superstars, so.
Or do you run NXT Saturday afternoon in the Hall of Fame that night?
No, I don't think so.
The hardest part is they both run in the same venue.
Yeah, I would say Hall of Fame's bump back to Thursday.
Ooh, see, that sounds rough to me.
Yeah. Or there's no SmackDown. Or it's a, I don't know, maybe it's a...
See, this is what WWE gets for over-exaggerating WrestleMania weekend.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't even think about that till you brought it up. That's going to be a major challenge facing WrestleMania 2 years from now.
I got
they're going to handle all that content that weekend.
Oh, I got an answer for you. One time, not one time only, but one time. Well, for one time, one special time, Fox moves SmackDown to Tuesday. For that
yeah, I don't see WWE moving their entire production team for 1 week to do it, especially on their what will be known as their busiest week of the year.
Yeah.
I can't see them doing that. And I can't even see the prospect of, let's just tape Raw and SmackDown back to back on Raw Monday night and we'll just air it. We'll air it on Fox as a pre-taped show while we air the Hall of Fame live, because I don't think Fox would be happy about that.
Okay, I got another.
I mean, there's so much to think about here.
I got another solution for you. You make the Raw Go Home show before WrestleMania. You make that a super show. And you air
but then Fox loses out on SmackDown Friday.
Fox airs the Hall of Fame.
But it's a lot longer than 2 hours.
Yeah.
They only have that 8 to 10 time slot because the news comes on at 10.
Yeah, so they'll just have
it'll
have to cut away, and that might get more people to go to the network. Then you never know.
I don't know, man. This is going to be very, honestly, 2 WrestleManias from now, this is going to be very interesting to see how they handle this. Because honestly, this is the first thing that has been mentioned that I honestly don't have a decent answer for.
Yeah.
So, yikes. I honestly wonder if WWE has even thought this far ahead and realized that the problem they're going to be in a WrestleMania weekend 2 years from now.
You figure they have, but there's time. There's time at least.
That's craziness.
And the final question he asked, what are some of the other consequences a move to Fox and Friday nights? You said in the past when SmackDown was on other non-NBC Universal networks, there was a plan in place to market Raw and SmackDown on other shows' programmings. This move will be no different, but it'll feel somewhat unnatural to see Fox advertising on USA and vice versa. But even though he says it's unnatural, you see it a lot more often than you do now, especially with NFL. You know, you see those cross-network promotions quite a bit these days. The times have changed on that for sure. And also questions about reaching the live target audience on Friday nights, which is typically a shit night for network ratings. So,
but a good night for kids to be sitting home watching TV.
Yeah.
I really think people are underestimating a good core of this audience, not only for live attendance on SmackDown on Friday nights, but for Friday nights sitting at home, watching TV. I think kids are going to make a big impact in this because it's a Friday night. They ain't got no school on Saturday. It'd be a lot more easy to convince the parents to take them to the show or to just sit there on a Friday night and watch it from home. I think this is going to benefit. Honestly, I think Friday night is going to benefit WWE greatly in terms of both attendance and ratings in the long term. I think it might hurt a little bit at first because it seems the average TV watcher is a little slow on the intake of when a show moves channels, that they lose some viewers in the process. But I think within a month or two, I think SmackDown will be pulling in just as good of ratings on Fox as Raw, if not better. So I honestly think long term, SmackDown could become the A show of the WWE brand, just based on the fact of their partnership with Fox.
Yeah, it'll be interesting. Not breaking news, but some interesting news that we'll put out on the Twitter here for you. Over the Top Wrestling had a what was called an amazing match in Dublin, Ireland, between Matt Riddle and Will Ospreay, and at Scrapper Mania is what the show was called. And the company has put the full match, the full 22-minute match, out free on YouTube. So
wasn't that nice of them?
So if you want to check out some good wrestling between Matt Riddle and Will Ospreay, head to our YouTube or head to our Twitter account at LITMC Podcast. We're gonna slap up the match there, and I'm putting it out right now as we speak.
Nice guy, JB.
Yeah. All right, now moving on. For those that have the Honor Club, there is a new collection that's been added. 7 hours of Kevin Steen has been added. So going from 2005 all the way down to 2008. A ton of matches that you can watch Kevin Steen. You can watch him with El Generico taking on the Briscoes. You can watch him taking on El Generico. A ton of matches there. One against Nigel McGuinness for the ROH Championship. One with him and Generico taking on the Machine Guns. One against Kenny King. A lot of good stuff there. So if you're an Honor Club subscriber, that is out there now. Ronda Rousey made her WWE Live debut, so that means she's got she's almost one-upped Brock Lesnar on his WWE Live appearances. I think he made one.
I feel like she's already wrestled more times this year than Brock Lesnar has.
Oh, I'm sure she has.
Between her live show appearances and WrestleMania, I feel like she's already wrestled more than Brock has.
I mean, we could almost just throw out MSG and not call that a live show, and so then we could just say, yeah, Ronda's wrestled more live shows than Brock Lesnar. She and Natalya and Ember Moon defeated the Riot Squad when Rousey made Mickey tap out. I think we watched that video clip of that hot tag. Was that the hot tag in
Yep.
Geneva?
Yeah, but that same match happened on several shows in the UK tour. So
damn, good.
she worked several matches on that UK tour.
Yep.
So she flew over there after she flew over there after the upfronts and did a bunch of that, that 6-woman tag throughout the entire UK tour. So she's working her butt off, dude, and she's also going to Japan with WWE in August.
I'm going to talk about that later on. And I think the casual WWE universe is kind of catching on to that too, and noticing that she's not Brock Lesnar, and so that's why, I always said I fear that she was going to get booed, but people are seeing what she's doing, so.
I think the WWE universe loves her right now.
Yeah, and that's a good thing.
So,
I was worried if they would at first, because they were bullying the mention of her name before she debuted before, and so yeah, things have definitely worked out on that end with Ronda Rousey, and it's going to be really interesting to see what they do at Money in the Bank for sure. Shane McMahon underwent successful hernia surgery last Friday in New York City. He had wrestled with the hernia issue at WrestleMania 34. But he's already out of the hospital recovering at home, so that's why you haven't seen Shane O'Mac on SmackDown lately. Speaking of live shows, NXT Live in Lakeland, Florida, May 17th, had a very interesting cameo. Marcel Barthel had challenged anyone to face him, and lo and behold, out came Tyler Breeze with his old NXT music and gimmick. Pretty cool. How,
he was still wearing the Fashion Police shirt, though.
Was he? Well, yeah, you got to sell that merch. But pretty cool to see an old NXT wrestler there.
Well, at that same time on the tour outside of Florida, the Revival worked a bunch of shows.
Yeah, they did
on the NXT loop as a surprise.
They answered the challenge of the Undisputed Era, didn't they?
Yeah, I think one of the nights was against the Undisputed Era, and then they fought. I think they fought like the Street Profits another night. Or something like that. I can't remember. They definitely worked the loop. And as far as I hear, they were pretty damn happy about it too.
Yeah.
I really think the born and bred NXT talents are more than happy to go on the road for NXT whenever they're asked.
Yeah. I mean, they're not. Of course, they've had injuries, but at the same time, they've been healthy now together for quite several months now.
Vince lost faith.
Jim Cornette calls them the best tag team in professional wrestling right now, and I don't argue with him too much on that.
It's hard to take anything Jim Cornette says seriously when he continues to bash people like Kenny Omega and Kota Ibushi.
Yeah, I saw that. That was kind of ridiculous.
I'm so like, I like Jim, but when he makes statements like that, it makes me go, dude, like, how out of touch are you?
That's just a look at me statement, because what does he have against those guys?
I don't know. Just because they've done comedy at some point in their careers, all of a sudden it's offensive to the entire business and they're terrible wrestlers. Like, it's fucking stupid.
Yeah. Ratings from the week: Impact Wrestling jumped up pretty good, up to 325,000. First time they hit 300 in almost a month.
Because Double was back on the show wrestling.
Yeah, that doesn't tell you. A equals dollar.
Dude, their highest ratings in a long time was that run when Aries had the title.
Yep, they almost hit 400,000 at the end of March. Unheard of. So, did you think the Cena and Nikki Bella bullshit was gonna lead to some high ratings for the season premiere of Total Bellas?
No.
Absolutely no.
I think it actually decreased viewership.
It decreased viewership by a lot, because their premiere last season 2 premiere, 700,000 nearly tuned in for that one. For this one, season 3 premiere, only 517,000. No, that was the worst single week in Total Bella's history. They
couldn't even double Impact.
Yeah, I know. That's sad.
I think people are tired of it. I think even America, beyond the wrestling fan, I think even America, who is obsessed with the TMZ lifestyle and the paparazzi and all that crap, I think even they are smart enough to look at this and say, this is a fucking work.
Yeah.
And and at that point, they just throw their hands up and like, yeah, I don't need to be a part of this anymore. So, and I think that's what happened. I think the Bellas shot themselves in the foot trying to be too cutesy with this, and I think it came back to bite them.
So season 1 had 6 episodes, season 2 had 8, so that's 14. So 15 episodes of Total Bellas, and their season premiere with the big drama of Nikki and John, and it's the worst ratings in the 15-week run of the series.
Yeah, dude, I have it on my DVR. I haven't even bothered watching it.
I don't think I've watched... I think I might have watched one episode of Total Bellas. I don't have time.
I missed a good bit of season 1 just because it was no, season 1 was heavily covering Daniel Bryan's depression issues. Yeah. And I mean, that kind of stuff just hits way too close to home for me. I just can't watch it. Yeah, so
just like you're not going to watch the Morrow special.
Oh, dude, I tried to watch the trailer, and 10 seconds in, I had to shut it off.
Yeah, it's
like I couldn't even watch the trailer. There's no way I can watch that special. I will mentally break down attempting to watch that show. I can't. I appreciate what he's doing for everybody with mental health awareness and everything, but seeing stuff like that affects me deeply. And I tried to watch the trailer. I got through like 10 seconds and I had to shut it off. I couldn't do it.
Yeah, it's going to be real in its realest form, so it's not going to be pretty. Raw drops in the ratings, 2.669 million. That is pretty much their lowest point since the holidays, for the most part. They're really hit. I mean, if you look back at 2017, there were only a handful of weeks that were really that bad. And one of them was May. We're at the end of May now. So obviously, there's obviously a hangover after WrestleMania. So May was pretty bad. Then it starts to rebound at Money in the Bank, because that's a great pay-per-view. And then it kind of lulls again in September after SummerSlam. So it's just the typical up and down. So not much to see here. Third hour did drop tremendously, down 320,000. Only 2.44 million tuned in for the third hour. Yeah, you think SmackDown needs a third hour? Yeah.
Look, we're past WrestleMania season. We're entering into the summer. All that's left are the hardcores. Like the hardcore, I'm watching every week, no matter what. Wrestling fan, if you look at these numbers, that's who are left right now, and that's all you've got, and that's all you're going to get till closer to SummerSlam. So it is what it is, and sadly, the people that were hoping for Vince to be able to open his eyes and realize the creative needed to change, these massive money deals who are on SmackDown say nothing is going to change as long as Vince is in charge. Mm-hmm. Like the only thing we can hope for long term is that this deal with Fox somehow opens the gates for Fox and the XFL to get together, and Vince becomes so involved in the XFL and it becomes such a great success as it runs opposite of the NFL season through like March through June or whatever the fuck they're gonna run it from, and it's so big and it's so successful, and Vince has to be so hands-on that he finally turns the company over to Hunter.
Yeah.
And things actually can improve. But until we get to that point, we're fucked.
Yeah, he says bye-bye Titan, hello, whatever that other company is, I forget off the top of my head.
Alpha Entertainment or something.
Alpha Male Monty Brown Entertainment.
Just remember when he told Jericho he hated the Alpha Club idea, and it was clearly because he was about to start an Alpha Entertainment company.
Yeah,
damn it, Chris, you're gonna confuse people.
And then you got that other startup football company that Ebersol is dealing with. So maybe there's a Monday Night Wars thing that gets Vince out of wrestling, and he's involved in a war with secondary football. So maybe that's our way out.
I love it.
SmackDown drops $100,000 down to 2.195 million. So they're flirting with going below 2 million, but they've only done that ever once, and that was I think I mentioned in the show before. November 8, 2016, the week before SmackDown 900. Randy Orton underwent knee surgery, just a little bit of cleaning up on the meniscus, and so he got that cleaned out. Said now's the right time because he's working a part-time schedule as it is.
I think a couple months off will do him good.
Yeah, he's going to be out for 3 months, should be back mid-August. Maybe if things go smoother, he can come back before that, be part of SummerSlam. Otherwise, maybe expect him.
I hold him off. I bring him back right after SummerSlam, and start a feud after SummerSlam.
Yeah, that's not a bad idea.
The big nights in Brooklyn that they run right after SummerSlam. That's when I bring Orton back. I don't rush him back to SummerSlam. I bring him in afterwards.
New to the WWE Network this week was Table for 4 with the Hardys, Edge, and Christian. I enjoyed it. I thought it was great.
Should have been Table for 6, and they should have had the Dudleys there. But
yeah, I love that Matt Hardy was served green beans. Wonderful, yes. He was great. He interrupted Christian's story.
Yes, he did.
Green beans. That was great. So check out Table for 4 there. ROH is opening a new wrestling academy in Baltimore, Maryland. The Ring of Honor Dojo officially opens its doors on June 23rd and June 24th with a 2-day camp. So Matt, you gonna go in the dojo?
No chance in hell.
Hey, both BJ Whitmer's going to be training it. People, come on.
Can I kick him in the dick?
Well, maybe if you ask Delirious nicely, he'll let you.
No, I would like an office job with Ring of Honor, like a creative job, or something along those lines. I don't want to step in the ring and do what these guys do. I know I can't do that. But if Ring of Honor, I live in Maryland, if Ring of Honor wanted to offer me a creative position within that company, I would totally do that. I think that would be really cool. I would be more than happy to help the creator of Ring of Honor and help them reach new heights of which they have yet to see. Because I feel like Ring of Honor is tapped for unlimited potential right now, especially with the boom period in wrestling that's seemingly happening before our very eyes. I think Ring of Honor has nowhere to go but up. But if Ring of Honor hires me, the first thing I'm telling them is, motherfuckers, you better sign the Young Bucks and Cody right now. You better extend those guys' contracts, because if you lose those guys, you guys are in trouble.
Mm-hmm.
I ain't even playing.
At a Raw event in Paris on the 19th of May, Mustafa Ali suffered a gruesome injury. Cut up the top of his head, had to have 9 staples to shut the wound. And he posted a picture on Twitter. It's not pretty.
There's a reason why we didn't retweet it.
Major League Wrestling announced that Sami Callihan will face MVP in a Boiler Room Brawl. That'll be on the June 7th Fusion TV tapings in Orlando. It'll be the first match of its type in 20 years. What is a Boiler Room Brawl? I mean, that's basically Falls Count Anywhere, but you're just...
Well, the only Boiler Room Brawl we ever saw was against The Undertaker and Mankind in the mid to late 90s in WWE, like 96, 97, I feel like. So, that's the only Boiler Room Brawl I ever remember in pro wrestling history. But yeah, I'm seriously, I'm just not interested in anything Sami Callihan does. I wish he would just go away.
I don't. I think it's great.
Jared Jobber.
You're going to see a lot of The Rock coming up again because the new trailers for Skyscraper are now coming out. This guy just puts movies out left and right.
The movie looks good.
It does. I heard Rampage wasn't as bad either.
I've heard people really like that. Granted, I didn't get to the theaters to see it. But when it hits on demand or whatnot, I'll definitely check it out.
Yeah, a lot of people.
I heard it was a fun popcorn flick.
A lot of people trash San Andreas. I saw that in the theater and I thought it was great. Not great, but enjoyable.
I'm not a fan of those type of movies, so I didn't see San Andreas. I don't like the world destruction, everything's coming to an end, earthquake style movies. I've just never been a fan of the earthquake movies, the flood movies, stuff like that. I'm not a fan of, so I didn't see it. But Rampage, dude, I grew up on that video game.
Oh yeah.
So you damn well be sure I'm gonna check that. I loved Jumanji.
I didn't see that one yet.
Oh, dude, you have to see the new. It was awesome. It was really, really good, and they're already doing a sequel.
And Skyscraper kind of looks like a modern day Die Hard to me.
Yeah, a lot of people are comparing it to Die Hard, so that's not a bad thing.
We used to have a running segment called This Week in Leaving Impact Wrestling. Now we almost have to change it to This Week in Leaving Podcast 1. Yet another podcast is leaving Podcast 1. Lillian Garcia's Chasing Glory podcast, which is really popular. She has a lot of women in professional wrestling on the shows that share their stories. That is now leaving Podcast 1. So, Podcast 1, man, what are they doing?
Hey, last pro wrestling podcast on that network. Don't forget to turn out the lights on your way out, because everybody's leaving.
Yeah, follow Matt's advice for Impact Wrestling at Podcast 1. But if you want to pick us up and give us money, we'll listen.
Nick Jackson just tweeted, "Is it just me or does Adam Page look a lot like Stephen Amell?" So I'm retweeting and saying, I've been saying this for years now. I've been telling everybody, Adam Page, he's like, yeah, it looks like Stephen Amell with long hair.
I never thought of that until you just said it, and then I thought about it, and I'm like, you're right.
Oh, he totally does, dude. He looks exactly... If Stephen Amell, didn't do his own stunts and he needed a stunt double, Adam Page could do it. It's ridiculous how similar those guys look.
Speaking of Stephen Amell, he's all in.
Oh, he's totally all in.
Yeah. Big cast pulled from SmackDown. Some people are playing it off as an injury. No, he's in the doghouse, kids. God hope to God he doesn't get involved.
I've actually heard.
Is the knee legit hurt now?
That he might be going to get his knee checked out to see if he tore it again.
Oh.
Like this
act. It is legit then.
Yeah, it might be more legit than we thought. I have heard from a select couple people. Like, I'm not enough people that I'm willing to say that's 100% certainty, but I have talked to a few people, and they're all telling me that they want him to go. They want to have Cass go get looked at again and see if he retore his ACL. And if that's the case, it honestly, some people might say that sucks, but I think it might be the best thing that ever happened to his career, because he's so buried right now in the doghouse. Maybe going away for another 6+ months and having to have another surgery. Maybe they'll forget why you were buried when you left that time.
That's true. I wonder what moment he did it, if he did do it again.
Apparently, at some point, from what I understand, at some point in the UK tour. So I don't know. I originally thought this was all just storyline. I figured he was going to come out and cost Bryan the match against Joe next week. But now I'm not sure. But I don't even know if my people are working me. You know.
Yeah.
Because until I hear it from a certain amount of people, and these are people that have never steered me wrong before, because I've been worked by people before telling me shit that's not legit, and that's why I'm always hesitant to say some things and not say some things. So we'll know by this Tuesday if he's legit hurt or not, because my opinion all along is he was going to cost Bryan the match with Joe, and Bryan and Cass were going to fight again at Money in the Bank. But I'm telling you right now, I don't care if Cass is hurt or not. Joe can't lose to Daniel Bryan on Tuesday. He can't.
I don't think he will.
He just lost to Roman Reigns. Daniel Bryan shouldn't be in a match with ladders this early back in this run. Samoa Joe needs to win this match. And furthermore, Samoa Joe needs to win Money in the Bank. He needs to win the whole damn match. So, I really, 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 I'm going to be really upset if Daniel Bryan beats Samoa Joe on Tuesday.
Here's the thing with Daniel Bryan. He's not going to get hurt by losses at this point, because, when he lost to Rusev, they played off the fact that he's been beaten and battered and bruised and wasn't 100%. You can still play off all of that stuff that he's just come back a month ago. So they've got creative outs to have him lose matches. So
there's nothing wrong with losing a hard-fought match to Samoa Joe.
No.
Joe could choke him out, and he could pass out without tapping out.
Yeah, without tapping out. That might be how it ends. That might be how it ends.
If Cass is seriously out, there's your finish. You just have an amazing 20 to 25 minute match. Close the show, and Joe choke him out. He just passes out.
I'll tell you what. I'll be a happy man if entrances start at 8:30 Central Time. If entrances start then, I know I'm going to get a lengthy match between Bryan and Joe, and it's going to be good.
These guys haven't wrestled each other in 12 years.
Yeah.
12 freaking years.
I think overall, God, I don't know how many times. Let's go to the old ProFightDB.com and see how many times they've faced.
That might have been the only time.
It might there's probably been 6-man tags and shit that they've done it. Here's the one thing I know.
I meant one-on-one.
Yeah, one-on-one. Because I know because I wrote about it. Daniel Bryan and AJ fought 6 times with, I believe, AJ winning 4 of the 6. Bryan Danielson, Samoa Joe, steel cage match for the ROH title in December of 2006. And they wrestled a lot of times. Tag match, I don't count, but damn, listen to this tag match. Last time they fought was November of 2006. Tag match, Samoa Joe and Nigel McGuinness against Bryan Danielson and Matt Sydal.
Good! You know that match was good. I don't even remember it, but I guarantee it was good.
Oh, wait.
There's no way a match with those 4 guys in there wasn't good.
I'm sorry, that was not the last time. The last time they fought was for the steel cage for the world title, December of 2006. where Danielson won. Danielson beat Joe. God, all the wrestling was done between, let's see here, 2002 and 2006. Okay. 2003, Joe beat Brian. 1 year anniversary show, Brian beat Joe. So 1-1. It's a tag match. 2004 Pro Wrestling Guerrilla American Dragon went as a draw to Samoa Joe. So 1-1-1. I'm just going 1-1s here. Midnight Express reunion at ROH 2004. Joe beats Brian for the world title. So Joe is 2-1 on him. Tag match. Joe beats the Dragon in a PWG show. So Joe is 3-1. All these are tag matches. Ooh, three-way. Ooh, man. ROH in Your Face 2006. Three-way dance between Brian, Joe, and Kenta. God, just looking at some of these matches, you're like, I want to see these. I think I might have some. I have one Brian Danielson DVD from ROH. ROH Fight of the Century 06, another draw. Joe beats Brian Irresistible Forces in a no DQ match. So Joe's gotten the upper hand about 4 times with 2 draws, and he's only lost to Brian once, it looks like, in their career when you go 1-1. I really want to see that match with Kenta now. All right, moving on. As announced on SmackDown Live, Miz and Mrs. will debut on the USA Network on Tuesday, July 24th, right after SmackDown Live. So 6 episodes for the first season, 30 minutes each.
I think 30 minutes is a lot better.
Is Total Bellas an hour?
Yes, Total Bellas and both Total Bellas and Total Divas are both an hour apiece. I think for a reality show, I think 30 minutes is a lot better of a something to tolerate, I guess I should say. Like, I'll be much more willing to watch Miz and Mrs. live when it airs this summer than I would be to watch Total Divas or Total Bellas, because they say their show is an hour. And I'm not saying this to be mean, but I'm saying this truthfully. When I watch their show, it feels a lot longer than an hour. It really does.
The series, if the original plans hold up, will also feature Dolph Ziggler. Is he like one of Miz's best friends, or?
Yeah.
Ryan Cabrera, musician, as well as Maurice's best friend and her mother. And Miz's parents will also make appearances as well. I kind of liked what I saw so far on the previews. So.
I think it'll be funny. I think Miz and Maurice were some of the highlights of the last season of Total Divas. So I think having their own show in a smaller format of 30 minutes, I think it'll be pretty entertaining.
I mean, that cake thing crashing into the console was pretty funny. I wonder if that was like the baby gender reveal cake, maybe. I'm assuming.
Or the wedding cake. I don't know.
Well, they've been married for a long time, haven't they?
Yeah, no, you're right. Yeah, it definitely wouldn't have been the wedding cake.
It's probably the baby gender cake.
Yeah, that wouldn't be good.
Where you cut it out. Yeah, you almost are you almost there with are you almost there with the cake? Oh shit. I'll call you back. Oh man. How about this? One night only. Zero Fear is what the show's called. One night only Impact on Sunday, June 3rd. Austin Aries, Rich Swann. That'll be a fun one. Do they ever face each other in Cruiserweight? I don't think they had.
They were both there at the same time. There's a chance they might have faced each other, like on a live event, or maybe on 205 Live in a multi-man match. But I don't remember them ever going one-on-one on 205 Live. So,
Pro Fight DB will tell me they tagged. They tagged at Rev Pro. So yeah, they never did. They never did on 205 Live. They tagged in Rev Pro. They faced against each other in 6-man competition. Dragon Gate. Aries defeated Swan in 2011.
I never watched Dragon Gate, so I wouldn't have known that.
After being backstage at Raw for several weeks, Jason Jordan is slated to be on Monday's Raw taping in Richmond, Virginia this week. PW Insider has confirmed. He underwent neck surgery on the 5th of February, minimally invasive operation to decompress a nerve, and so he's been removed ever since. And so it'll be interesting to see what happens, because, I mean, God, how many different ways are we going to have more than one person beat up Chad Gable and expect Jason Jordan to come in, huh?
Look, here's my thing. If you're not bringing Jason Jordan back to save Chad Gable, I don't even care if you bring Jason Jordan back at all. Like, put fucking American Alpha back together, or just don't fucking bother. Like, these guys were so good together.
Yeah.
That they're never going to get that push that they deserve, because just there's pieces missing from each guy to fully get where they need to be. Gable's probably the height problem. Jordan is definitely his bike work. To me, together is where they shined, and together as a tag team, I think they could do some major damage in the tag team division on Raw. So I'm really hoping they get back together, and I'm hoping that, you know, it's beneficial for both, because the whole Kurt Angle's my dad storyline was already ruined by him not getting to face Seth Rollins at WrestleMania. Yeah, so plus now you need to do something else.
Plus that went over like a fart in church. So,
well, you're not wrong.
No. WWE is wrapping up production on the second season of the Edge and Christian show that totally reeks of awesomeness. And there's a number of cameos set to appear, including Johnny Gargano, Funaki, indeed, Tommy Dreamer, of course, he was a staple of the first season, Beth Phoenix, and Kairi Sane are all expected to be. And seriously, this is probably, in terms of original programming, Matt, this is probably my favorite show on the network.
I love the Edge and Christian show. I'm very much looking forward to season 2.
And you know what they should do? Their podcast is pretty fucking good. I think they should almost bring those guys in for podcasts here and there.
Well, they're already test running one. Let's see how long that lasts.
Pritchard?
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's talking like old stories though. They're not really interviewing people or but I mean, because Bruce has got a lot of stories. I'll tell you what. CMLL star Ultimo Guerrero is going to be facing Ring of Honor champion Dalton Castle for the championship at Hammerstein Ballroom in New York City on June 2nd. Also, CMLL star Titan will take on Cody Rhodes. So a little bit of CMLL and ROH crossover there. And of course, today ROH kicked off a 3-day tour of the UK, which you can see on Honor Club. Our buddy Daryl was watching that at work today. I still haven't used Honor Club much, but I don't know. What do you think of Honor Club so far, Matt?
I enjoy it.
Yeah, I need to get on the schedule and know when's what, you know? Once I do. Maybe I'll enjoy it more.
It's nice to have something to watch when you're bored.
Yeah. I definitely want to watch all those old Steam matches. Johnny Mundo, Johnny Impact, Johnny Survivor now. Johnny Survivor. John Hannigan's going to be in the 37th season of Survivor.
How in the hell has this show lasted 37 seasons?
I don't know. It's definitely not 37 years. Well,
no, definitely not.
Ashley Mazzaro is going to be on here as well, huh? And Daniel Liu, who was cut from the first season of Tough Enough.
No, I believe they've been on Survivor before.
Oh, they've been on Survivor. You got it. Okay.
Yeah, I don't think they're a part of the season.
The theme is David versus Goliath, so maybe Jeff Cobb's going to be there as well. I don't know. I haven't watched Survivor in a long time, so.
Dude, yeah, it's been years for me too.
I did not realize Global Force is still a thing, but Fight Network announced a partnership with Jeff Jarrett's Global Force Entertainment.
Well, Fight Network, it was nice knowing you. Let me know when Jeff sucks all the money out of you and you guys have to close your doors too.
As Matt said earlier, Ronda Rousey is appearing in Osaka, Japan. This was announced this afternoon at the Edison Arena on August 31st, featuring talent from the Raw brand. So she'll be there in Tokyo. NXT this week, another solid show from top to bottom, in my opinion. I think NXT has been on fire since New Orleans, Matt. I think the television shows, usually you'll get some stinkers and things going on. NXT has been on different gear since they put on probably arguably the best takeover ever. You agree?
Yeah, probably.
Started off with Heavy Machinery against TM61. I thought this was a great back and forth tag match, and as Otis was going to the Vader Bomb and using Shane Thorne's towel, he threw it down, referee picked it up, and that allowed TM61 to do the old cheating. So TM61 gets the win by cheating, now over Heavy Machinery, as they cheated previously against the Street Profits. So we'll continue the cheating ways of TM61. What do you think of the heel turn so far with those guys?
They needed something. You know, they were out for a really long time with injury. They were treading water when they got back. It was needed. They needed to do something with them. So I didn't mind the heel turn at all.
Speaking of something you will mind is a video package for Bianca Belair, because I know you don't like her.
I don't have anything against Bianca Belair.
I thought you didn't like her.
No, I mean, her gimmick annoys me, but I don't have anything against her personally.
Yep. They're doing a little Who Is She package, and it'll continue on next week. So I thought you didn't like her. So.
No, I don't have any issue with Bianca Belair.
Vignette video for EC3. He said that it won't be long before fans will be holding signs at dancing and singing in the aisles as NXT becomes NX3. And if he can do that in 3 matches, imagine what he can do in 4. What's he going to do in 4? I wonder. Next up was an amazing match between Kairi Sane and Lacey Evans. I'll tell you what, Matt, I think Lacey Evans is probably the fastest rising star in the women's division right now.
I'd be inclined to agree with that.
The match with Kairi Sane was just amazing. I thought working on Kairi's elbow, which of course is her finisher. Kairi hit that awesome corner forearm, which usually sets up the insane elbow, and Evans with a killer punch to just knock the lights out of Sane. She calls that the women's rights, and that was enough to get her the win. 1, 2, 3. Big surprise upset with Lacey Evans defeating Kairi Sane. So now their feud is at 1-1. So you got to wonder if the rubber match is going to be at Takeover, or maybe the just before Takeover.
Yeah, I think it was. I think the rubber match was already taped at the last set of tapings. So.
Oh, okay. And Kathy Kelly is outside at Full Sail, waiting for Johnny and Candice to show up, and she sees them and runs up to them and asks them how they're doing. And Johnny says he's seen better days. They sat down and discussed the future, but no disrespect to you, Kathy. I'm going to do it in front of the NXT universe. They then interviewed Danny Burch and Orny Lorcan after their big win over the Undisputed Era in the 6-man tag. They said that they've earned the right to become #1 contenders, and will take the titles. And then the Undisputed Era do their typical little the NWO style promo.
It's totally an NWO style promo.
It is, isn't it? The off-camera.
That's totally what it reminds. It totally reminds me of the old style NWO promos.
Yep. Because their music plays in the background.
Yep.
While they talk, you got the camera off to the side where they're not looking at it. It's completely NWO, man. They said that last week was a fluke, and the funniest part was that they'll hang their hats on that victory their entire careers. Kyle O'Reilly says it's Pete Dunne's fault for giving those guys false hope. They don't even know who they are. Bobby says the charade comes to an end in Chicago. Roderick says he has no patience and waits for no man. He wants #2, and they laughed at the #2 joke. He wants Danny Burch, And so next week.
And so we sit with the question: is NXT Takeover gonna have 6 matches, or is Adam Cole not going to be defending the North American Championship? Because as far as I'm concerned, they have already got 5 matches booked at this point.
Have they taped all the way to Chicago?
Yeah, as far as I know, they've taped all the way to Chicago. So I'm super curious as
and you've got no inklings on a North American Championship match?
No, because I thought maybe they were going to end up doing a 6-man for all the titles. But now that they've confirmed that it's going to be, now that they confirmed it's just going to be a tag title match, the only thing that makes sense is Cole versus Dunn, based on what they've done. But I mean, is that going to be title for title? Is that just going to be for Cole's North American title? I mean, like what are they going to do there? So I don't know. It's weird to me right now. I hope they give them 6 matches because I always feel NXT deserves more, than just a 5-card show. Yeah. Extend it out a little bit longer. Make it work. So I don't know.
I mean, if it wasn't taped all the way to Chicago, I'd say you could somehow slate an EC3 Cole match in there, but
yeah, they're not going to put those guys against each other right now.
No.
Two of the biggest heels in the company. They're not going to do that.
I tell you what, I bet it's. My guess is they don't stray away from the 5-match formula, and it's Dunn versus Cole, title for title, on next week's NXT.
I hope they don't do that. I think it's a disservice to both of those guys. I think they deserve to be on the show. I think they should have 6 matches, and they should freaking. I know. Do that.
I know, but they, until they do 6 matches, we can't say they're going to.
Oh, I'm hoping they do. I'm gonna stand here and say they should do it.
Something gets bumped. Vince, you don't even run NXT. Get out of here.
Shut up. I run everything. I have the final say on everything, you son of a bitch.
You don't even know how to spell NXT.
If I go down there and I tell Hunter to do something, he has to do it.
You probably don't even know where the Performance Center is, Vince.
Shut up!
Usually, when the WWE does a handicap match, it's for the monster to kill 2 jobbers. We don't see many good handicap matches unless you go to NXT, where everything's better in NXT. Because Lars Sullivan versus Dream and Ricochet was fucking good, wasn't it, Matt?
It was a lot of fun.
And I was watching this at work this morning, and I'm like, Matt, did I miss something? What set Dream off? He's like, just Dream being a dick. It was his spot.
Yeah, it's just they Dream and Ricochet don't like each other. Dream picked the spot and laid him out. That's all. To me, that's all it was. Like, I don't feel like anything happened in the match to make him do it. I just feel Dream intended on doing that from the get-go, and he just chose his spot to do it.
Yep, and then that landed into the old freak accident to give Lars Sullivan the victory. Tremendous match with these guys. I'll tell you what, it reminded me of Monday night, where we praised Braun Strowman for his work with a much smaller guy with Finn Balor. I think Lars Sullivan worked really well with a smaller guy in Velveteen and an even smaller guy in Ricochet. I thought Lars Sullivan worked really well with those guys and sold really well for those guys too.
Yeah, I don't think he's at the Braun level yet.
No,
but he's definitely impressive.
I was just saying, in the same vein of how Braun sold for Finn, I think Lars looked good selling for Ricochet and Dream.
No, what I'm saying is, being on Braun's level is, I feel Braun can have an entertaining match with anybody on the main roster right now. I don't know if Lars could do the same in NXT. That's basically what I'm saying. I feel like, whereas Braun, I sincerely feel Braun could step a foot in the ring with any member of the Raw or SmackDown roster and have a fun, entertaining match. I don't know if Lars is at that point yet. That's all I'm saying.
Mm-hmm. But God, that rolling Death Valley driver by Dream is so fucking cool, isn't it?
It's a great move.
It just came out of nowhere like an RKO. Speaking of which, did you catch that video I sent you, Jeff Hardy and his daughter?
Yeah.
His daughter gave him an RKO in the pool. That was pretty cool. We go to the back, and Dakota Kai Kathy Kelly interviewing Dakota Kai as she's got a title match, NXT Women's title match next week against Shayna Baszler. Talked about her history with Baszler, and Dakota saying how this is something she's wanted for years and how she has to overcome the biggest bully she has ever come across, and cue Shayna Baszler, who then says, oh, you can't run your mouth when I'm standing right in front of you, and Dakota goes, we'll see about that. So I still think she's turning heel and joining Shayna eventually. I still feel that way.
I don't. Shayna's got her own group in the Performance Center right now.
That's true.
She's not going to need Team Kick to help her out.
When will they be ready for television, though? That's
probably not too long.
And finally, Johnny Wrestling comes out with his wife Candice LeRae. Talks about how last time they saw him in Full Sail, he was on a stretcher. His body reminds him of everything that's happened over time and what Ciampa's done. He has been wrestling his entire life, and he sat down with Candice and realized it's time to think about the future. Think about the future! Eckhart. Another Batman 1989 reference, thank you.
God damn it, JB.
Yes, is it worth it? The injuries are adding up, and the toll it's taking on his friends, family, and wife. Is it worth it? It's funny when he's asking those questions, and everybody in the NXT in Full Sail, yeah, it's worth it! It's because it's the best fucking feud in professional wrestling right now. Johnny apologizes to Candice because it's worth it, and says, Ciampa, I know you're back there, so come on out so we can finish this. Candice tries to talk to Johnny, but he's not listening. Ciampa comes out on the stage and says that if Johnny's still in the ring when he gets there, he's going to finish this. Candice LeRae runs off to the back, grabs some officials. They break up, go in between the two. Candice continues to try to talk Johnny out of it. And Ciampa does his great little wave to Johnny and Candice from the ring. And Ciampa tells Johnny, be a good little boy and listen to your wife. That set him off. Gets on the apron. Ciampa knocks him off right into Candice, and she biffs it on the metal ramp. And Candice being knocked out and attended to is how we close NXT. Matt, yet another chapter in the greatest feud in professional wrestling, huh?
Yeah, but I have a hate/fear of where this is going. So.
The thing that I suggested of a bold prediction.
I don't like it. I hate it.
Is that what you're thinking of?
I think Candice is going to turn on Johnny in Chicago.
Yeah, that was my.
I don't like it at all. I can't even put into words how much I hate the idea of that happening. So, I am not looking forward to that. I really don't want them to do it.
Yeah, that was my bold prediction for New Orleans, was that she would turn on Ciampa.
It didn't make any sense at that time for it to happen. It makes sense now.
Yeah, so I was just a little early on that one, huh?
I don't want it to happen. I want to be wrong. Don't do it, Triple H. This is something Vince would do. Don't do it. No one will see it coming, pal. It's brilliant.
Yeah, I saw it coming in New Orleans. I was just a pay-per-view off.
Shut up!
I did not get to watch this yet, but 205 Live, Matt, if you want to talk about it, we had
honestly the only thing I remember is Tozawa and Hideo, and I thought it was a really good match. Other than that, I seriously don't remember anything else that was on the show.
Talk about the main event. What'd you like? What'd you see?
I just thought it was a good, hard-hitting back and forth match, and I thought the right guy won. I thought Hideo really needed a big defining win on the 205 Live brand, and he finally got one. So I thought it was a good thing.
Is there ever going to be a time where he gets out of there and is considered in the Finn Balor status, upper echelon, main roster?
Main roster? No. I'm terrified if they don't give him a decent push to 205 Live when his contract's up. He's just going to take the first flight back to Japan. So
Or the second flight to Ring of Honor.
Yeah, maybe.
Monday Night Raw from somewhere.
I think they were in
Albany, New York. Episode 1304. Oh boy. Kurt Angle starts it off. Talks about how there's going to be a contract signing with Nia Jax and Ronda Rousey. Then Stephanie McMahon comes out.
They were trying to make me turn that channel early.
They were. Everything Stephanie touched on Raw ruined the segments.
I agree. She's way they creatively book her to be way too overpowering for her own good, and she ruins everything that she gets involved in because it ends up being all about her and not about anybody else.
Yep, it ruined the Open. It ruined the contract signing because she wouldn't shut up. Well, it wasn't that she wouldn't shut up. It was Vince didn't trust Ronda and Nia to carry a promo, so they had Stephanie talk almost all the time. Stephanie tells Kurt that he's been giving Roman Reigns way too much latitude. That needs to end tonight. Out comes Roman Reigns. She said, if you got something to say it to my face, just like Alex O'Reilly. And
we all saw what happened to him.
Yeah.
Best of luck in your future endeavors, Rye.
He met us in L.A. and his career went downhill after that. So basically, they went from mirroring the Daniel Bryan story with Roman Reigns to mirroring the Stone Cold Steve Austin story with Roman Reigns. So
it has a better chance of working than the Daniel Bryan one.
True.
But they have to actually do it. They actually have to go through with it and not just like tiptoe, through it. They really need to go full blast into that type of character for it to work. And I don't know if I chose WWE to do it.
I don't either. Kevin Owens shows up and he's out there to thank Roman. He's a big Roman Reigns fan right now. Why? Well, because he took out Jinder, which allowed Owens to get into the match thanks to Stephanie, and now Owens is in the Money in the Bank ladder match. I did think it was funny that when he put his arm on Stephanie and she gave him that look, that was kind of funny. That was Kevin Owens being Kevin Owens, though. And she said, don't ever touch me again.
Owens did what he could do to try to save that segment. It was just already gone.
Yeah, it was terrible. I mean, I have a new segment on Sportskeeda. I do a report card for Raw, SmackDown, and NXT every week. And, obviously we all saw this coming. It led to a match between Owens and Reigns, and then it led into a tag match later on. It was basically a continuous hour-long set, which I like. I like when they do continuous things that make up an entire hour of a show. I think that's great progression. I don't know if you like it or not, Matt.
I don't have a problem with it when it's done well.
Yeah, I gave the singles match a B-, the tag match a B+. I gave that opening talking segment a D+, because Stephanie ruined it, and the contract signing, I don't even know what I think I gave it I didn't give it a great grade. I kept it from getting a good grade. Oh, we all know, I'm sure you can guess what I gave the Lashley sister segment, though.
I wouldn't know. I saw the first maybe 30 seconds to a minute of it, and I turned it off.
I gave it a B- just because of the end of it, But, I mean, that could have been a solid B+ segment if it wasn't for Stephanie yapping the whole time.
Oh, I thought for a second you were about to tell me you gave the Lashley segment a B+.
No, that got a fat ol' F. So that a match was made. Roman Reigns, Kevin Owens. They went for about 13 minutes. Pretty decent match. I mean, these two guys are very talented, so it's no surprise that they're going to give us a good match. Jinder Mahal gets his revenge and beats up Roman Reigns. That calls it disqualification. Teddy Long shows up, says, we got a tag match, playa. Because Seth Rollins came in to make the save. Because they figure, hey, this is the hottest man in WWE. Maybe if we pair him back up with Roman, they'll cheer Roman. Hey. And then that led to a tag match between Seth and Roman against Owens and Jinder. And I thought these four guys worked really well in the ring together. I absolutely love the ending sequence when Rollins missed the stomp and then went for it immediately and nailed it immediately. I thought that was a really cool way to end the match for Roman Reigns and Seth Rollins to get the win. This basically took up the entire hour of Raw, the talking in the two matches, and so I like when they do that. So it was done well, except for the first part. Would you agree?
Yeah, I was fine with it.
After the match, Jinder Mahal teleported somehow and came out of the back of the chair. I don't know how he teleported, but he did.
Now that's true talent.
Yeah. He stole the magic pills that Bray Wyatt takes, I guess. He attacks Roman and Seth with a steel chair, lays him out on the ramp to end the segment. Boy, we saw this coming a mile away, that Sami Zayn exposing Bobby Lashley with his sisters was going to be pure shit. This became worse than pure shit, in my opinion. It was terrible. It was worse than the old day. It was worse than, what was it, This Is Your Life with Alexa and Bayley, whatever the fuck that was. This was the worst segment of Raw, probably in the history of Lost in the Midcard. Terrible. It was fucking terrible.
I can't even argue with you because I didn't see it.
What did I say on the show when they announced this was going to happen? I said, I fear this.
We knew it was going to be garbage.
It was going to be a shit show, and it was worse than a shit show. Obviously, 3 indie men dressed up as Lashley sisters. The only funny part about this that made me chuckle a little bit was eventually Lashley came out, and then the 3 sisters beat up on Lashley because they're men, actually. Sami Zayn joins into the party. One of them brought a broom to the ring, and the only funny part about that segment was when Lashley used the broom as part of a pump handle slam. That was kind of funny. But other than that, this was just ungodly, terrible segment. I mean, they did no favors for Lashley or Zayn at all this match. Ember Moon took on Alexa Bliss. Pretty good 8-minute match with those ladies. Ember Moon getting the win over the former women's champion. I really think Ember Moon is the dark horse to win this Money in the Bank. I know you've got your heart set on the Natalya storyline.
It's not my heart set. But it is so blatantly obvious where they're going with this that nobody else has a chance to win. It's Natalya's briefcase to win and cash in the very same night. I'm telling you, that's what they're doing.
Mm-hmm. I'm not down with that yet.
You don't have to be down with it. It's going to happen anyway.
I'm not down with saying it's going to happen is what I'm saying. I'm not saying I'm down. I'd be down with Natalya winning it. Yeah. I'm just not down with that actually going to be happening. I'm not on that train yet. Choo choo.
You will be.
Steph McMahon is in the office. She took over Kurt's office, so poor Kurt had to go in the boiler room with Sami Callihan and MVP.
Ugh.
Finn and Strowman walk into the room. They want to shot at Dolph and Drew again. And then Stephanie tries to pit the two against each other, saying, "Hey, they're going to be going against each other," and and blame Finn for losing last week and all that fun stuff. That Stephanie makes everything annoying. So she sets up Finn and Strowman, and Strowman crushing an apple in his hands. That's just fucking scary, isn't it?
I thought it was funny.
I want a Braun Strowman Carlito feud, and he does that in front of Carlito, and Carlito has this shit his pants look on his face.
I just like to have Carlito back. Period.
That too. Noah Jose, Baron Corbin, short match, but I thought it was some good offense from both guys. It was a painfully short match, though, only about 4 minutes. End of days, but Corbin, as they continued to make Corbin.
I thought for a 4-minute match, it was as competitive as could be, and yeah. I didn't think Noah Jose looked bad coming out of the match.
I agree. I said they both got some good offense in.
Yeah, I didn't I know some of you were online were like, "Oh, that match was shit," and I don't agree. I thought the match was fine.
I did too. Kurt Angle is trying to use his cell phone in the hallway when Chad Gable comes up to him, and Angle told Gable he was going to be the guy that was going to replace Mahal last week, but management had other plans. Dolph and Drew show up. And they said they like beating Finn Balor and Braun Strowman last week. They'd love to do it again, but that decision is above Kurt's pay grade, as they take a dig at the general manager. Gable says, "What makes you think you guys are so special?" And McIntyre says, "Because we are." Well, he's not wrong.
Well, he's not wrong about himself.
Okay, I'll give you that. And so that basically pits. They were going to go at it backstage. Angle says we settle things in the ring. So that pits Gable and Ziggler later on in the show. The hottest new thing to hit Monday Night Raw is the B Team, ain't it, Matt?
It's just fucking funny, man.
It is. I like how they were making their own merch as they were entering the arena. and I don't know if these were plants or not, but there were people in the crowd wearing B shirts. I don't know if they were plants or not, though. So, I mean, they were in the front row, so easy for the camera to see. So I don't know. I'm not gonna, we'll just call them. I think it was a plant. We'll just say that much. B Team gets a second win in a row. Quick match against Fandango and Tyler Breeze.
I do not think those fans were a plant.
Okay.
I don't think WWE cares enough about the B Team right now to have people planted in the crowds like that. I do believe those were legit fans.
Well, hey, they succeeded in getting on TV then.
Well, of course, they were at ringside.
2-minute match, but this was more about the celebration than the match, because that celebration was great, wasn't it?
Like I said, it's entertaining. Look, I love comedy in pro wrestling when it's done right. And the B Team right now is comedy in professional wrestling done right. So, I don't have a problem with it at all.
I absolutely cracked up laughing when they did the celebration where they both they were celebrating on the rolling chair and it rolls down the ramp. That one cracked me up the most of that whole segment. I thought it was fun. Then we got the contract signing. As I said, Stephanie basically took up the whole time yapping. Other than that, when they got face-to-face, I thought it was cool.
Look, the best thing about this segment is that Nia Jax didn't turn heel.
Oh, yeah.
That's honestly the only thing I could take away from the entire segment. I was just happy that when it was over that Nia Jax hadn't turned heel.
Did you have fears of her being the new corporate strong arm?
Oh, no. I had fears of her turning into the female version of Kane or the Big Show.
Oh,
who turned face heel so quick that you get to a point where it doesn't matter and it doesn't have any meaning anymore. Nia Jax is a great role model for little girls all around the world right now to tell them that you don't have to look a certain way to be special and be important. And the last thing they need to do right now is take Nia Jax and turn her heel again.
Oh, yeah.
When she's delivering a very important message to the youth of America right now.
Yeah, that decision would be absolutely fucking stupid.
Yeah.
So. Ziggler and Gable, I wish this match would have been longer. We probably would have got a real good match out of it, but it only went 4 minutes. Ziggler gets the win, and then Ziggler and McIntyre beat up Gable, and we're like, oh, here comes Jason Jordan.
Nope.
Money in the Bank qualifying match, Natalya, Dana Brooke, Sarah Logan, Liv Morgan. I did not watch this match, so I don't have anything to say about it, but Natalya gets the win. Obviously, because, well, Matt's theory. She's going to win, so.
Yep.
Elias and Bobby Roode went about 9 minutes.
Can this feud be over already, please?
Yeah, we need to turn Bobby heel.
Every time Bobby gets interaction with Elias, he loses steam on the Raw roster. They got him away from him for a bit. He started to gain steam for a couple weeks, and now he's back in the shit with Elias, and he's running out of steam again. It's just him and Elias don't make for a good pairing right now in terms of keeping Bobby Roode hot.
They need to turn Elias babyface, and they need to turn Roode heel on Seth Rollins.
Oh, dude, if they could double turn, if they could somehow take their feud and double turn it,
that'd make it all worthwhile then, right?
That would actually make it all worthwhile, but I don't think they have any plans to turn Elias face anytime soon. And let's face it, Bobby Roode should have never come up to the main roster as a face, because we all saw how well his NXT heel persona worked. We all knew how great of a heel he was in Impact. Bringing him up as a babyface was the dumbest thing they could have done for him. So,
well, they made that decision.
You know who, pal.
Elias gets the win after the drift away.
Tired doing
solid match.
It's making my throat itchy.
Solid match, though, I gotta say. And then the end of it was real funny, because then Strowman's music hits and he shoulder tackles Elias. That was fucking hilarious.
Braun?
You cannot do wrong with Braun right now. Next week on Raw, there will be a last chance qualifying gauntlet match for the women. Sasha, Sarah, Ruby, Liv, Mickey, Bayley, Dana. So who goes between Bayley and Sasha here?
Sasha's got to get in. She does way too many cool stuff to not be able to be in the ladder match.
As we were mentioning when we were talking NXT, the main event of Raw was phenomenal between Finn Balor and Braun Strowman. Goes to show you Strowman could work with all sizes and make it a phenomenal match. And Balor and Strowman went all over the arena, and it was a pretty damn good, entertaining match, wasn't it?
Yeah, I thought they worked really well together. I think it silenced a lot of people too. You know, the naysayers and whatnot, the people that think that Braun can't work with the smaller guys, or that Finn can't work with the bigger guys. I think it silenced a lot of people on both sides of the spectrum. I thought they had a fabulous, very entertaining main event, and I don't think Balor lost anything losing that match. And I honestly don't want people to say that I'm over exaggerating things, but Braun's show of respect to Balor at the end of that match reminded me of Undertaker's show of respect to Jeff Hardy after their ladder match on Raw. And I felt that made Jeff Hardy a bigger single star going forward, that he lost and got that respect after the match than he would if he had won. So I feel like this was a very good thing for Balor, and if creative is smart enough to take advantage of it going forward, I think it'll be a very good thing for him in the months to come.
Yeah, I tell you what, I mean, you're mentioning one of my top 10 matches of all time, Undertaker, Jeff Hardy. He picks him up and kind of patted him on the back and nodded his head and walked off, and Strowman didn't do all that, but he picked him up and didn't beat the fuck out of him. So that's how he shows his respect. He doesn't give you
that's about as far as Braun's going to show respect, but he's never done that for anybody else.
No, and I thought it was a really cool moment.
He loves picking people back up after the match and beating their ass some more. The fact that he lifted Balor up and put him in the corner said all you needed to know about how Braun felt about Finn after that match.
Yeah, I loved it. I thought it was a really cool moment. I mean, they have not. You cannot do wrong with Strowman right now. I mean, you could, but they're not, thankfully. SmackDown Live from Worcestershire, Massachusetts. Trying to think of. I think it's the South Park episode that they make fun of Worcestershire.
I have no idea.
New Day.
New Day.
You okay there?
I told you, dude, the Vince voice fucked me up tonight. Dude, my throat is so itchy right now.
That's what you get, pal.
Yeah, like seriously, I've done way too much Vince tonight. It's really fucked up my voice.
Miz TV kicks off the show with the New Day. Miz dropped the announcement, the breaking news that Miz and Mrs. will premiere on July 24th. He dropped that in tidbit live on SmackDown Live. The New Day come out, and Miz walked into this one. He goes, "Who is going to be in the Money in the Bank match?" Oh, come on. You know better than to say the word who, Miz. He even admitted he fell into that one. All three guys said it's going to be me, and Miz asked if they were in sync. Then the New Day kind of, basically him and Hod wasn't going to give Miz an answer. Miz decided to talk about the New Day, and it says Kofi, well, he's been in 6 of them and has not won a match yet. Big E, he can't take anything serious to even be a true champion. Then he puts over Xavier Woods big time. Basically, because in my opinion, I think he probably sees Xavier as the lesser a competitor of the three, and so he's trying to goad them into making Xavier the man. So Miz finally puts it out there and says, "Who is it gonna be?" And they yelled. They said, "Big E." Oh, we're not talking about Money in the Bank. We're talking about facing you tonight. So New Day continuing their charade, which is a good strategy if you're talking kayfabe. Good strategy to not reveal who's going to be in it. But both Matt and I are on the same page that we hope it's Big E.
That's who. Honestly, I love all three members of the New Day, but if it's anybody other than Big E, I will be disappointed. So,
I thought it was pretty cool watching. I had the day off yesterday, so I did a little binge watching a photo shoot because I hadn't watched that series yet. Watched the Cornette one. That was great when they. If you're not familiar with photo shoot, it's basically they show a slideshow. The guys don't know what pictures are coming. They show a slideshow and they talk about the pictures. That's basically the premise of the 20-minute show. The Cornette one was great, especially when they flashed Vince Russo. He goes, "I'm not even going to go down that road because that involves language that you don't allow." So the newest one, I don't know when it came out, but Kofi was the newest one, and it was really cool to see his progressions. And then they showed, like the original New Day vignette back when they were supposed to be a positive religious group, and it was really cool to see. I don't know if you've ever watched any of the.
I think the Kofi one is the only one I've ever actually seen, and I did really enjoy it, but I haven't gone out of my way to go back and watch any of the other ones.
I watched Cornette, I watched Miz and Cesaro, and part of Cesaro. So I thought it was really. I think it's a really cool concept for a show. So I thought it was really cool to go down memory lane. Especially with Kofi, going down the great feud we had with Orton when you thought maybe this is where he's going to break through, into the main event picture. But
surprise, pal.
Yeah. What did you think of? Oh yeah, now look where he's at. Hello, money making machine. What did you think of Miz TV there, Matt?
I kind of wanted to know who was going to be in Tuesday, especially since that's how they promoted it. I get that they kind of want to wait it out. I feel like there's been constant rumors online, and I have not been able to confirm this with anybody, that there's going to be a third Money in the Bank ladder match at Money in the Bank for the tag teams. And I feel like there's gonna get to a point where Paige is going to be like, I need to know which one of you are in the main Money in the Bank because I'm putting the other two of you as the first team in the tag team ladder match because you guys won your match. And I feel like at that point they'll reveal who did what, but as many people as I've asked, nobody wants to talk about this rumored tag team Money in the Bank match. So
yeah, and I know we were talking. I was like, I thought it would be cool if Xavier was in the Money in the Bank ladder match, but obviously, and those that listen, I came to the agreement that Big E should be the guy because I've said for years that I wish they would push a solo New Day guy and still keep the team together because you could still do it, and they've been so successful for the company. Seriously, Big E deserves to be a WWE champion. Kofi Kingston deserves to be a WWE champion. I don't think Xavier Woods is there just yet, but he could be eventually. He's had a great year so far in the ring.
Kofi would need the proper push behind him to return to the main event plateau of WWE to do that. Being in the New Day is a good spot for that to happen, though. Yeah, I feel like Big E's just, out of the three of them right now, he's the most believable guy that could say, Big E looks like a guy who could go in there and wreck some shit and become a world champion. Yeah. So I agree. I would really love for him to go in and win it. I just don't think it's possible. I don't think it's possible. Like, I don't think anybody from Raw is going to win because of just the whole Brock Lesnar bullshit. I really think that it's Samoa. I think it's Samoa Joe's to win. Like, I really, really do. And I feel like it's WWE's way of saying, yeah, we had to drop the Roman, but we still really believe in you, and that's why we moved you to SmackDown, and we're going to give you Money in the Bank. And I feel I feel that's what's going to happen.
Yeah, I buy that. I buy that logic. My initial thoughts were Miz and Becky Lynch, but there's still 3 weeks left. I'm definitely going to be changing my tune before then. I don't know if I'm jumping on that Natalya bandwagon just yet.
See, to me, that's the one that's like set in stone. Like,
I'm
not 100. Dude, go back and watch the Natalya match on Raw and listen to the commentary of how much they're putting over Natalya as Ronda Rousey's friend. And what are you going to do if Ronda wins the women's championship and Natalya is the Money in the Bank briefcase winner? They beat you over the head with it on commentary Monday. It is so blatantly obvious that Natalya is winning this match and cashing in the same night. She's like, Ronda's going to have that belt for like 2 minutes. Natalya's going to win that title because she's probably going to come out, pretend to celebrate with Ronda, and then crack her over the back of the head with the fucking briefcase. And then she's going to have Stephanie ring the damn bell and force a pinfall. And then Natalya's going to be the corporate champion for the summertime up until Ronda gets the title from Natalya at SummerSlam. This is happening. There's no other feasible outcome for that women's ladder match other than Natalya right now. I'm much more up in the air on could Joe or Miz win Money in the Bank than I am on Natalya or anybody else in that match. Natalya is winning Money in the Bank. I have spoken.
Yes, you have. I agree with you on the men's SmackDown thing. At first, I thought it would be feasible for a guy to win it on Raw, and that was the way to get the title off of Lesnar. But I think they're going to be dicking around with this Reigns storyline, and eventually Reigns gets a shot.
I unfortunately feel the same way.
Yeah, Miz and Big E had a pretty good match too, didn't they?
Yeah, I mean, those guys always work well together. They've had several matches over the years with each other. So they always work well together, and I thought Tuesday was no exception. And bringing out the bar to cause the distraction for Big E's loss kept him strong going forward. So I thought everything about that match was perfectly booked.
Yep, I agree. They showed, oh man, I loved watching this. They showed the replay of Daniel Bryan beating the shit out of Big Cass last week. How fun was that? That was great. That was just a fun moment, just watching him beat the fuck out of Cass.
Big ass.
And so Cass is not medically cleared to compete. That leads to a second chance match. Daniel Bryan, Jeff Hardy. One of my dream matches. Once we learned that Bryan was back on wrestling in the WWE, that was one of my dream matches. And we get it on the main event tonight. The winner getting Samoa Joe, and to fill out that final spot for Money in the Bank. Dasha Fuentes interviews Daniel Bryan talking about the second chance, and he mentions how nobody knows about second chances like he does.
He's not wrong.
True. He showed Big Cass, it doesn't matter how tall you are, if you kick a hornet's nest, you're going to get stung. I'd say Cass got stung all right. And he says it's insane to think of Daniel Bryan versus Jeff Hardy in 2018, and talked about how Hardy is a legend and it's a difficult mountain to climb, but tonight he will tap a legend out. You would not believe, I mean, if you were in a coma for 3 years and you came out of that coma and saw Daniel Bryan promos and competing, you would not have known he was off for 3 years.
No, probably not. What did you think about him using the heel hook to tap out Hardy over the S-lock? I thought it was a little weird. Like, are they giving him a second submission finisher maneuver? Like I like the S-lock a lot. Like, I don't want him to be... I don't want the leg bar to all of a sudden become his primary submission finisher. I don't like that. I don't know how you feel about it, but to me, like, that finish kind of fell flat for me just because I didn't like what move he used to tap Hardy out.
Well, I'll tell you two things. One, I think he used it on Cass.
He did. He did. He used on Cass in the attack because he was attacking the knee. So I mean, for somebody,
he was attacking Hardy's knee. That's what I'm saying. I'm saying it made sense in the match because he was working on Hardy's knee as well, and they were Graves was putting over how Hardy's been battling knee problems for the past few months and such and such. So he was working on Hardy's knee, so it made sense. There wasn't as much drama in the finish as I wanted it to be, but
he's also threatened to tear Samoa Joe's ACL.
Yeah,
like he did in the post-match promo on YouTube. So it's just like, are you really going to continue to? Is this like hook thing really going to be your new submission finisher? And if so, I don't dig it. I don't dig it.
Yeah, I'm going to tell you this. I'll tell you this. It made sense for the Hardy match, but going forward, no. I like the.
It made sense for Big Cass because if you're fighting someone 7 foot tall and you're 6 foot nothing, you want to bring the guy down to your size. Jeff Hardy's your size, so to me that doesn't make any sense.
Aiden English comes out, and Aiden English is great when he does the intros, and but he's not introducing Rusev. He's introducing Lana, and I thought it was pretty cool to have him introduce her. And hopefully it does look like they finally had pulled the plug on the idea of making Lana the Yoko Ono of Rusev Day and putting the three of them together. As if we're getting this with English and Lana, great. Because
I hope you're right. Somebody suggested to me this week, and I can't remember who, but they suggested that, I see what's going to happen now, that Aiden's going to fall in love with Lana, and that's going to cause Rusev to attack Aiden. And I'm like, God, I hope they don't do that.
Sounds like a very Vince thing to do.
Look, Aiden English losing the Rusev Day thing will kill him. Like I don't. It's a terrible idea to take that away from that guy. So I really hope they don't do it.
I think I told you this on Twitter. I go, my guess is he's going to accidentally cost her the ladder match.
I don't think they're going to. I think WWE learned their lesson of having a male at ringside for a women's ladder match last year.
Ellsworth.
Yes, I do not think Aiden English will be at ringside for the women's. I think he'll be at ringside for the men's for Rusev.
Well, it's an idea that I hated, so I like hearing that. The Iconics are amazing too. I mean, let me tell you.
Unfortunately, they weren't booked to be amazing on Tuesday night. I did not like the way they were treated at all.
Yeah, not in the ring, but the fact that they continue to have a microphone every week tells you that there's something that they're getting. There's going to be eventually something behind them. You can't push everybody brand new right away because then where do they go from here?
Yeah, but they were pushed decently when they came in, and it feels like the rug's been yanked out from under them.
Yeah. The match. The match only lasted 1 minute because Peyton Royce slapped Aiden English. Then Lana throws Peyton into the barricade, and then Billie Kay threw Lana into the ring. Lana, as Billy's getting back into the ring, jumping kick, and then a sit-out face-buster, X-Pac style, for the quick victory after 1 minute long. Andrade Cien Almas and Vega cut a promo talking about how quit giving them jobbers. Well, what did they do? They gave them a jobber. And that went about a minute. Carmella, interviewed by Dasha Fuentes, and she said everybody's a hater. Matt, you're a hater. Everybody's afraid of Asuka, but she's not. And mentioned that she beat Charlotte Flair twice, and Charlotte beat Asuka. So that means Carmella is twice as good as Asuka.
The only thing I hate is Carmella's utter lack of wrestling ability.
Yeah. Oh, you're a hater, though.
I'm just speaking the truth. Carmella, if you're listening to this, or if someone that's listening to this that knows Carmella can replay the message, Carmella, spend more time working on becoming a better wrestler and less time sitting on social media bickering with fans. Thank you.
Money in the Bank title match, WWE Championship match, stipulation time. AJ Styles comes to the ring. So does Shinsuke Nakamura. Renee Young is there to referee the proceedings, I guess you could say. And they're trying to find out what Nakamura was going to choose for the stipulation at Money in the Bank. And I about lost it when he said pillow fight.
Lingerie pillow fight back in WWE 2K19.
Oh my god, I lost it when Nakamura said pillow fight. That was fucking hilarious. And somebody somewhere, Vince Russo saying on a pole, pillow on a pole. Nakamura repeatedly was talking about how he's going to put a knee to face, and Styles says, "Yeah, I understand. I'll see you at Money in the Bank." And he's getting ready to leave the ring. Nakamura tried to sucker punch, but AJ Styles blocked it, leading to a brawl all the way around ringside that was fucking great. In the end, Nakamura hits a Kinshasa on the floor, and Nakamura stops counting from 1 to 10, so that should tell you where this was going. And Nakamura grabs the mic, and as I had predicted, the next match at Money in the Bank for the championship, last man standing.
Which apparently was the original idea for Gargano and Ciampa at Takeover, and they had to change it to a street fight because of this. So, blah. I rather would have had Gargano and Ciampa in last man standing. Personally, I would have liked to have Nakamura and AJ Styles in an I Quit match.
I would personally would have loved Gargano and Ciampa 3 stages of hell.
Yeah, I was never a real big fan of that match. And with the limited amount of time they give an NXT show compared to a WWE pay-per-view, a 3 stages of hell match, you might even we talking about having 6 matches on the card. You might have to have 4 if you're doing that.
Yeah. What do you think of Nakamura Styles? I thought it was a pretty good segment.
Yeah.
The second match is a lot better than the first, so I think they'll probably give us the wild match here at Money in the Bank with last man standing. I think this is going to be probably the match that blows us away.
Well, they don't really give the choice because I feel it's going to be their last match for a while.
Yeah. Usos and Gallows and Anderson doing a little pre-match promo. Usos saying how it's it's the Uso Penitentiary, and Gallows calling them a bunch of nerds.
Well, they are.
Nerds! This led to a 6-minute tag match winner facing the Bludgeon Brothers at Money in the Bank, and it was a win for the Good Brothers, wasn't it, Matt?
As it should be. We've seen enough of the Usos now lately. Let's let other people have a chance.
Give other tag teams a chance. I thought Gallows and Anderson could be the team to take the titles from the Bludgeon Brothers, but it ain't gonna happen this soon. So I'm guessing that.
Unless they've just completely given up on the Bludgeon Brothers already, and they just want to take the titles off of them, I don't see that being possible. Mm-hmm. It has been really weird that they've literally just been yanked off TV for feels like the past month now, and the only thing we've seen from them is the stupid vignettes that are like beyond stupid. So I don't know.
And fucking weird. Money in the Bank qualifier, Naomi against Sonya Deville. This one only went about 5 minutes as Naomi got the win here. So, no Deville and no Rose in the match then, huh?
No Iconics either. This is the thing. This is the thing I was bitching about last week. I felt the women's Money in the Bank match was more about, hey, everybody who's a former title holder, let's get you in this ladder match instead of what Money in the Bank used to be about, which is about the up and coming people that haven't had an opportunity to be world champion yet, and that briefcase being your stepping stone to get there. Like I feel like they kind of really missed the boat on what to do with the women's Money in the Bank match this year.
Yeah. Samoa Joe comes out. He's in his gear, so I thought maybe he was going to kill somebody quick, but no, he's coming on commentary. Maybe he wrestled the dark match. I don't know. And I don't remember Samoa Joe being on commentary much since his main roster call-up. Do that more often, please, because A, Joe's a great talker. B, he's fucking entertaining. And sometimes some of the wrestlers that go on color commentary, guest commentary, aren't that good on it. Man, put Joe on there a lot more often, please.
Joe's the man, dude.
He is. Main event, Jeff Hardy, Daniel Bryan. I loved it, Matt. I thought, I'm like, okay, please give us an 18 to 20 minute match of these guys later on. This is the appetizer that's free on SmackDown Live. Give us that 20-minute match somewhere down the road. But I thought, for the time given, I thought these guys told a great story here. What did you think?
No, I thought the match was really good. Like I said, I thought the ending felt a little flat because I wasn't a fan of the submission choice to end the match. But I mean, other than that, I enjoyed it.
Yeah, Bryan working on Hardy's knee for a good part of the match. Did a dragon screw leg whip and slapped in the heel hook to get the win after 11 minutes. And then after the match, a nice little stare down between Joe and Daniel Bryan in the ring. And, God, Joe's so awesome. It's going to be fun. That's going to be your main event next week. And that was SmackDown Live. I thought it was a very good SmackDown Live. And we'll see what happens next week. That's going to be a lot of fun. That's going to do it for this edition of Lost to the Midcard. I'd like to thank SpiderDuck.net for being our host, enabling us to be on iTunes and any of your favorite podcasting apps. What you got to do is search for Lost to the Midcard, hit that subscribe button. That way you know when every new episode comes your way every Thursday and Mondays after a WWE pay-per-view. And you can also subscribe to us on that YouTube. The links to all that are on our Facebook page, facebook.com/Lost to the Midcard. That's on our pin post there, or on the Twitter on our pin tweet at LITMC Podcast. Also give us a little follow there because you can see all the great tweets from the wrestling world. And follow Matt on the Twitter at RawF Showtime. You can follow me on the Twitter at JB Huskers. And before we ride off into that sunset and hope that the Houston Rockets take a 3-2 lead, what are your final thoughts, Matt?
This Vince voice is going to be the death of me.
What are you talking about, pal?
I don't know. Normally I can do it without a problem. Tonight it killed my throat.
You know what's easier on the voice? Drake. Yeah, let me talk to you, dummy. Yeah, but sometimes you do Vince for like 8 minutes straight and you're fine.
Yeah, tonight just for some reason it really got to my throat tonight.
Vince sent the trolls out. And
Vince tried to attack me.
He biologically tried to attack you. Biological weapon.
I wouldn't put it past him. He's a billionaire now. He probably has that tech.
Yep. Well, that stock went up. So. For Matt Black, this is Jeremy Bennett. Thank you for tuning in to Lost to the Midcard. We'll catch you next Thursday.